Hi, I'm Lou, and today I'm going to rebuild our mattress. This is a Sattva Classic mattress, which is a fairly highly regarded name brand. And even though I spent $2,000 on it only 4 years ago, it is showing significant signs of wear. There is an uncrushed hill in the middle where nobody sleeps, but everything else is kind of pressed down. You can see there's like a dip here where I sleep, a dip here where my wife sleeps, and we actually sit here to watch movies, and look at that. You're like probably an inch down. A good mattress should be flat, and all these dips are bad for your back. The foam they use feels great on day one, but it really crushes quickly over time. So here's an exploded view of that mattress on the Sattva website, and I'm seeing that it has 2 layers of springs and then this one small piece of foam for chiropractic back support. But then the top layer is this just 3-inch piece of foam, and I'm thinking that the springs are probably fine since it's only 4 years old, and I just really need to replace that top layer of foam. I found this really cool website called DIYmattress.com, and they even have a phone number where they answer and will give you more information. So what they let you do is build a mattress from the ground up with all the parts, but we just want to replace some of ours because I think the bottom part is still good. So if you look under products, the guy that I talked to said that this Talalay latex was the best for toppers, so I'll go into that. We have a queen mattress, so I picked that, and that topper is supposed to be 3 inches, so I picked that. And the firmness, you have a bunch of choices here, and I talked to the guy and he said because I'm 200 pounds I probably want medium, and my wife is only 100 pounds, so she wants soft. So he said you can pick either one of those, but then type in the notes that you want it split half-half, and they'll do that for you for the same price. So originally I planned to just reuse our mattress cover, but the guy I talked to said, 1, that doesn't work out too well, and 2, you can't zip it open later and change out parts if you want to. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a mattress cover from them. It's a zip up, and it's a queen, 13 inches tall. And there it is. It always amazes me how tight they can squeeze this foam for shipping. Okay, first impressions. This stuff is just wonderful. It just feels like, I don't know, like Jello or something. It's just really nice and cushy. And this mattress bag is not like a mattress bag you'd get off on Amazon that is, a few pounds. This thing is seriously very heavy. Like I would guess this thing's probably 20 or 30 pounds. Okay, unlike other boxed mattresses I've gotten, this thing expanded almost immediately, and it doesn't really smell at all, which is nice. Okay, I had to give it a quick test, and honestly, this stuff is just heavenly. We'll start by flipping the whole mattress over. Now I'm going to cut open the back with a crisscross cut. Peel that open. About every 6 inches, the cover is attached to the side, and we'll just clip those free. Now we'll just pull out here and push down to get the cover off. Now that we have the cover completely peeled off, we can flip it back over. This top is only glued in a few spots, so I'm just gonna peel this away. Now I'll go around and tear off this foam lid. Off with that. Since we have it torn down this far, let's take a look at the rest of the construction. So we have this foam side. There's 1 layer of smaller springs, and I'd say this is about 1/4 inch of felt. Then we have another layer of stiffer springs down here, another layer of 1/4 inch felt, and then finally the bottom foam is about 1 inch thick. One thing I've learned kind of the hard way, and I also did some research online, is you should not sit in your bed and read or watch movies or whatever, because you're gonna dip the bed where you sit, and then that's hard on your back. So I'm halfway considering replacing this layer of springs, but it is really flat on this end, and I think I'm just gonna turn it around so the flat side is up there where we sleep. There it is, flipped around. And the good news about the zipper cover, I guess, is that if we end up not liking this, we can just unzip it, order a layer of springs, and throw it in there. Soft side for my wife, medium side for me. I've done a little exploring and research, and I want to share some of this stuff with you. First of all, this lumbar support is honestly kind of a joke. I mean, it's just like completely gone when you press on it. This is that 1-inch lid that we tore off. And this is the, quote, pillow top. And guess what? That foam is exactly the same as this foam. Look at that. It's the same stuff. Feels the same, looks the same. Just because it's sewn in, I guess they call it a pillow top, but there's no difference. It's just more foam. Here's the other really important thing I learned. This foam is made from petroleum, and this foam is latex and made from rubber trees. That's why typically when you get a new mattress, especially one that's been bundled a long time, like a bed in the box, they say you have to open them up and air them out for a while before you use them. It's because they're off-gassing that petroleum stuff. Whereas this, you don't have to. When you smell this stuff, it smells kind of yucky, but when you smell this stuff, it smells almost like baked bread. One other money-saving tip for the super frugal is that I really think you could just rip this 2 inches of foam out of there and you could probably reuse it. You'd have to do Velcro, maybe some grommets and string, and save yourself around $300. I don't know, the nice thing about this is just zip it on, and then if you ever want to replace anything, just open it up, replace it, zip it back. These two halves actually have to be lined up the same way. I've got the tag, the zipper start here at the foot of the bed, and on this one, I also have the zipper itself on the foot of the bed. I'm gonna do this off camera, but I rolled it up. I'm gonna lift this end, stuff it under, unroll it to the middle, then lift the other end and unroll it the rest of the way. Not gonna lie, that was a bit of a struggle to do that myself. I suggest you have someone help you. And the top should be a lot easier. You kind of just pull this on like a cover sheet. There's the zipper start and there's the zipper. It looks professional, but I will say it's a little baggy compared to the original cover, especially like down here, but it should work just fine. My wife likes to have this zipper cover, and it's always been really tight, so it should kind of hold everything together better. One thing my wife and I both noticed is this foam is a lot more bouncy, but it does feel very supportive. I'm a side sleeper, so it feels pretty good. What I'm gonna do is sleep on this for a few days and then give you our opinions. So talk to you soon. Welcome back. It's been 2 weeks and I have a few interesting things to report. First of all, I wondered if the bounciness of this bed would be a problem, but honestly, I haven't even noticed it at all, and neither has my wife. So I've always been a fairly flexible and sound sleeper, so I really didn't notice much difference between this new mattress and the old mattress. However, about 3 days in, I hurt my back by lifting a box, and after about 3 nights of sleeping on this bed, my back was fine. There's a different story for my wife. She's a lighter sleeper, and on the old mattress, she woke up with a stiff back pretty much every morning, and with this mattress, no problem at all, and she says she's generally sleeping better. I also talked to the DIY mattress people and found out I made a couple of mistakes. First of all, I put this mattress case on upside down. This is actually the bottom and doesn't have any extra padding. The top side does, so we just need to flip that over. Second, I found out the reason this is baggy is that I have a 13-inch cover on a 12-inch mattress. They said they could send me a 1-inch layer of foam to put in there and tighten it up, but my wife thinks the bed is too tall already. They also said they could make me a custom 12-inch cover. The last option was to go to a 10-inch cover and mattress by replacing my springs with their springs, and my wife wanted a shorter bed, and I'm really curious what their springs were like, so I went ahead and ordered parts for that. This was extremely heavy, and I'm really wondering how they got springs into a box that size. It's starting to unroll, but it's vacuum packed, so you have to break this seal. Just wow, they managed to get a 6-inch set of bed springs, that cover, and a 1-inch piece of foam all in that box. Off with the old cover. This project has basically turned into an entire mattress build, so we're just going to keep this new top foam and get rid of everything else. Again, I think these flipped coils would have been just fine, but she wanted a shorter mattress, and this is just fun to try. Original box springs, bed skirt, and bottom of the mattress cover, tall side on the bottom. Honestly, this is a lot like making a sandwich. We've got 6 inches plus 1 plus 3 makes a total of 10 for the bag. I have to call out their amazing customer service. I didn't know whether the 1-inch foam went on the bottom or the 6-inch coils. One phone call they picked up immediately and told me foam on the bottom. Nobody answers the phone anymore. Good job, guys. 1-inch foam base, coil layer, his and her foam, and the top of the cover. This is more padded, and make sure the zipper is here that lines up with the bottom. Zip it up. Oh yeah, that's much tighter. My wife's gonna like that it's 2 inches lower and easier to get into, and this stuff is a lot more plush on the correct side, so feels better. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. As an experiment to see whether you could reuse the old mattress cover, I put all the old layers back in there, and I'm going to try to put it together with duct tape and see how we do. That actually worked out really well. I was able to flip it over and none of the duct tape came loose. I think if you need to redo your mattress on a budget, you definitely could reuse your old case and just rip out the 3 inches of foam and replace it with that Talalay stuff. It won't be as good as getting their zipper bag because we had to rip out those sides and it'll be a little bit saggy, but on a budget, not bad. Welcome back. It's been 2 weeks and really there's no surprises here. My wife and I both still really like the bed and her back's in great shape. So from a comfort and performance perspective, we really didn't need those new springs, but it is 2 inches lower and the whole thing is tighter, which she likes. So like a lot of my projects, this didn't turn out at all how I originally expected. I originally wanted to just keep my old mattress cover, replace the foam, and flip the springs around, which would have worked pretty well. That's definitely a great option if you're on a budget. If you have a little more money to spend, I definitely recommend their mattress cover because it's so easy to zip on and off. If you want to go all out, which is essentially what I finally did, you can buy all the parts and build your own mattress for a lot less than you can buy a mattress. My wife and I are super happy with how this whole project turned out, and I have to give another shout out to that DIYmattress.com website and the fact that they answered all my questions, picked up the phone, just a great place to work with. Thanks for watching.